said, I can't sing this. He said, why? He said, this is for like a, a girl in her teens.
Right.
Uh,
And then
uh,
what did
uh,
he say?
he said, don't worry about it. Just sing the song.
Welcome back to Faye's Place, a podcast where dreamers have the liberty to dream. I'm your host, Phaedra, and I am so excited that we have this time to dream together. From hits like Band of Gold to starring in film and stage productions, as well as hosting her own talk show, Freda Payne has captivated audiences across the world. Her longevity in the entertainment industry inspires us all to keep dreaming big. Thank you for stopping by Faye's Place, Miss Payne. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I am grand, just excited for this conversation.
Oh, wow. You're in New York, right?
I am in New York, yes, Long Island.
Oh, wow. I haven't been there in a while. I think the last time I was there, I was doing the play, Ella Fitzgerald,
Yes,
First Lady of Song
in Rockville
in Long
Center.
Island. It was
Rockville
a long
Center.
time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
It's in Rockville Center, right? It was literally like the next town over for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because it was kind of out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of out. And I think they gave me a car, rather. They gave some of the other cast members cars. And I would drive into New York
Yes.
if I wanted to, see something. And I think I drove into New York to see the Michael Jackson. There was a Michael Jackson musical.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, God, my memory. I still
Oh,
have a little bit.
oh, that's great. It's great. So take us back to 5-year-old Freda Payne growing up in Detroit. What did she dream of becoming?
Oh, my God. It's funny you said 5 years old. I remember I was 5, and I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but, when you have chicken, like fried chicken
Mm-hmm.
back then, I would always get the part of the chicken that has the wishbone. You break the
Yes.
chicken
And you
bone,
make a
and then you
wish.
make a wish.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds kind of stupid now, but back then it made sense. And I made a wish that I would become a movie star and I would wear mink coats.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
That's so
Yes.
funny. I mean, and here I am, 5. Like we were poor in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
We lived at on John R. and Horton.
Okay.
And my grandmother lived right around the corner because we could go to our back porch and look into her backyard. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
And
That's
she was at
amazing.
101 Horton. And that whole block is gone.
Oh no.
It's all gone. It's all disappeared. It was just a block from Woodward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember being 5, and I remember doing that and making that wish and playing every day. I had a little bicycle. And then I used to go to a corner oh God, I used to go to this corner drugstore that was right up at the corner, but they sold candy as well. And my favorite candy was circus peanuts. And to this day, I have to tell you, I go to CVS, to the candy department, and I look for circus peanuts. And if they don't have them, I tell the guy at the front desk, the manager, would they please order them?
Yes.
And they did, and oh my God, and when I eat circus peanuts to this day, it takes me back to my childhood.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
I love that. I remember growing up and having circus peanuts too. So definitely it's a childhood thing. That's
And
great.
let's see, there was the Hershey bar. I always loved Snickers. Remember those candies they called them dots?
Yes. I love dots.
They were on a paper. I don't see
Yes.
that anymore. I mean,
No, but you know what
yeah.
you know who usually has all those great old school candies is Cracker Barrel in the store.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you familiar with Cracker Barrel?
Yes, I am, but
Okay,
we
yeah.
don't have a Crocker Barrel around here.
Yeah, I know. Same with the Long Island. We always have to drive far to get to a
I don't
Cracker
even
Barrel.
think they have a crock. I don't know. I may be wrong. I may be proven wrong, but I don't think there's a Cracker Barrel in the whole Los Angeles area.
Uh-oh, you gotta call the people. You
I
gotta say,
know.
you gotta bring
Because
Cracker
I
Barrel here.
remember, yeah, I remember going to those when I was working out of town.
You're right.
like out of town, like either in the Midwest or the East Coast. I remember that, but like I don't remember Cracker Barrel around here at all.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have to go
Yeah,
on a nice little road trip.
right. I know.
Wonderful, wonderful. So at the age of 14, Berry Gordy wanted to manage you. Now, this was before Motown became Motown. And
Absolutely.
and I know that he was very particular about his stance, and your mom was very particular about her stance. So unfortunately, you didn't go through with that. But looking back, do you wish you had taken that opportunity?
It's funny. It's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
One thought is that it just wasn't meant to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because if I had signed with Barry, I would have been his first female protege, and that's quote. He says that himself. I was at 14. I was before Dinah Ross and all those, that became the Supremes. I was before them,
Right.
and if I had signed, I would have been the main girl. There was Mary Wells as well. She was also one of the first. I want to make this correct because this is history.
Yes.
Mary Wells and me were the first female artist signed to Berry Gordy before there was a Motown. And if I had stayed, because my mother was a very smart woman. She never graduated from college, but she was just as smart as anybody that had had a degree. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She had good common sense. She worked for the city as a clerk. And so she dealt with a lot of business matters and stuff like that. And she um, wanted to read the contract, and she wanted our attorney to read it. And our attorney was a family friend who lived just down the block from where we lived in Detroit. And his name was Alan Early Jr. And he was a criminal attorney in Detroit and a very well-known criminal attorney, by the way.
Mm.
And he was a family friend, and we wanted him to read the contract. He did, and he just made like a couple of revisions. I mean, nothing big
Right.
or anything like that. I mean, Barry, let's say, wanted you to sign for 10 years. He said, no, that's way too long. He said, that takes you past your 21st birthday. That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So he said it should be, whatever the remaining, 4 or 5 years instead of 10 years, and management and this and that. But anyway, make a long story short, Barry was insulted that we wanted to change or have someone else read the contract. He said, in other words, it's like my way or the highway. That's the kind of man Berry Gordy was back then. My way or the highway. So all artists that signed with Motown with Berry, they had to take whatever provisions he put in there. I think Berry did tell me to make one correction. The only person he allowed to read their contract was Levi Stubbs of the Four Tops.
Do you wish you would have taken the opportunity, or you're just kind of like, it is what it is?
You know what? I have brought this up to people, I mean, over the years, people who actually had worked at Motown in executive positions, and they know the story. And you know what they've told me?
What?
A lot of them. They said, Freda, you did the right thing.
1970, you had a huge hit, Band of Gold. So what was the
Yeah.
inspiration behind that song? What was happening in your life during the time you recorded?
Well, I was at the time when I recorded Band of Gold, I had signed with Holland, Dozier and Holland.
Yes.
That's Eddie and Brian Holland and Lamont Dozier.
Your
The
classmates?
late Lamont Dozier. I had gone to school with Lamont. We were in the same homeroom in middle school, and so I knew him. We'd gone to school together. I also knew Brian because we had a class in high school at Central High in Detroit, and so I knew Brian. And then Eddie, I met Eddie through Barry
Mm-hmm.
because Barry brought Eddie to our house, to my house back then. And I remember meeting Eddie back then. And this was before there was a HDH, okay?
Mm-hmm.
After having turned Berry down, when they offered me up to record me with on Invictus, a new label that they had just established, Invictus Records, they thought I was going to be hard and I was going to have like have my attorney read the contract, and I didn't. I signed right away, and
Wow.
they were shocked. And I said, "Why were you shocked?" They said, "Because of what you did with Berry."
Wow. And that was
I said,
many
"Well, I'm
years.
ready now."
Right.
I said, "I'm ready to have a hit, so I don't care."
Right. You were 14.
I was 14, so by
Right.
the time this came about, I was like 28, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I had left Detroit, went to New York, um, baptismal by fire, I'll put it that way. It
Mm-hmm.
was when I think back on it, oh God, I came out alive. But when it's so funny, I had moved to New York, but I had to eventually come back to Detroit to record a song that became my biggest hit I ever had.
What was the hardest part about recording that song?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Ronnie Dunbar, who also was working with Eddie and Brian and Lamont, he was like one of their, side guys or assistant. I call him assistant side guys. He was part of the team, but he wasn't part of Holland Dozier and Holland. But
Mm-hmm.
he would come to my house, play the track, and rehearse me. Like, okay, here's a song we're gonna take you in the studio to do, and I want you to hear the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening, and then he gave me a paper with the lyrics on it. And I said, and I'm reading the lyrics, and I'm saying, but that night on our honeymoon, we stayed in separate rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Ronnie, I said, I can't sing this. He said, why? He said, this is for like a, a girl who's like a virgin or in her teens.
Right.
But that night on our honeymoon, we stayed in separate rooms. I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I am not a virgin.
And then what did he say?
He said, don't worry about it. Just sing the song. Hey, virgin or not, sing the song.
Sing it. Right. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. So how long did it take to record?
Oh my God, we did so many takes.
Mm-hmm.
And they wound up, we did like about 40 takes. And then they wound up taking like about this. They said they went back and took like about the second or third take, and they splice it too. They'll take, okay, we'll take these two phrases, and then go to another take, and then take another phrase, that kind of
Right.
thing. Yeah,
So when
that's
you
how they did it back then.
Yeah, so when you sing that song live, is it hard to replicate what you did recording, especially since they spliced it up from different tracks?
No, it's not hard.
Okay.
I just sing the song.
Oh.
If anything, it's better.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Band of Gold is like, I can't knock it because it's become my ID, like Freda Payne, Band of Gold.
That's right. I love the song. It is so catchy and it's just so great. So I'm glad you did record it. So
Yeah, me too.
what did you learn about the music business from the success of this record?
I learned that in this music business, no matter how good of an artist you or singer you think you are or you are, you'll never ever have real major success unless you have a hit record.
Right.
Unless you have recorded some hits, like maybe one hit, and if you have 4 or 5 hits, that's even better. Like, I'll give an example. Dionne Warwick.
Mm-hmm.
Dionne Warwick is more or less like a commercial pop singer. She's not a let's say strong R&B singer, but her songs are legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Bacharach and David, they were the magic wand for Dionne Warwick. Like, Walk On By, all those
Say a Little
songs that they
Prayer.
were, Say a Little Prayer. I mean, those songs will live on and go on forever,
Mm-hmm.
And so all I have to say is that Dion, and she had under her belt with them, she had about like at least about 15 hits or maybe 20, almost 20 hits. And she wound up being a headliner. I remember it was back in the late 60s, early 70s, being in Las Vegas, and she was the headliner. She was headlining Caesar's Palace. This was back when Vegas was really Vegas, when it was the entertainment capital of the world. She would be headlining, and I would say, my God, how does she get the headline? And I remember Eddie saying, that's because she had like 20 hits. And I was at the Thunderbird. I was performing there, and I don't think I'd had any hits yet. No, I think after a while I did have Band of Gold. But sometimes the more hits you have, the bigger the star.
Pursuing your dream is hard enough. You might as well look good while you're doing it. Like I always say, when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. Embodied Apparel is all about doing good for the community. It provides quality statement apparel and opportunities for firsthand social and civic engagement. My favorite part is not only are the t-shirts soft and comfortable, but they are printed by Turn 90, which is a nonprofit that provides therapy and job placement to men creating a new direction after prison. Now that's a dream I can get behind. Shop now at embodiedapparel.com, and for a 10% discount on your purchase, please use the code FAZEPLACE.
June is Black Music Appreciation Month, and in honor, I wanted to ask this fun question. What is one song that absolutely has to be played at a cookout for you?
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
Oh, yeah.
I can just see myself like, Marvin Gaye, and at a cookout, and I'm holding a rib in my hand.
Yes.
And drinking, and got some lemonade or maybe no, I don't think wine, but out at a picnic, but like lemonade or soda or something like that.
How does it feel to know that you are part of Black music history and that your voice is synonymous with Black joy?
Wow. I'm honored and pleased that it hasn't been all in vain, because there's some singers that came along the same time I did, and you don't hear about them anymore.
That's right.
I'm not naming any names. I don't even know if I can remember them. But that tells you right there, if you can't remember somebody's name, that means that apparently they didn't leave that much of an impression.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they weren't good singers. They were good singers, but it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah. So can you tell us a quick little story about one of the times you met one of your musical heroes?
A musician wise, I would say somebody like Quincy Jones, who just had this phenomenal reputation with big bands and recording people, and he was one of my heroes. And also another hero would be Johnny Mathis.
Oh, and yes, didn't you sing with him?
Yes, I did. When I was able to record an album, I think this would be my last album I recorded. I did duets with 4 different people. I had like about 5 or 6 cuts on this CD, this album. And the title of the album was Let There Be Love. And that duet was done with Kenny Lattimore. And then I did a duet with Johnny Mathis. And the song was You Can't Take That Away From Me. And then I did a duet with Dee Dee Bridgewater, who was also one of my favorite female jazz vocalists. I did a duet with her. We did Doodlin' and Moanin' together, like a medley type thing. And then there was Kurt Elling, who I think is phenomenal. And then, of course, I did a solo number, It's All Right With Me.
Now, when you're not working, what is something that you enjoy? In my research, I found out that you love eating and love food. So what's your favorite comfort meal?
I like a lot of food.
Well, name some of them.
I like everything.
Okay.
What can I say? If I'm okay, I do like smoked salmon a lot.
Yes.
And I like to drizzle it with a little extra virgin olive oil and capers and a sprinkle of black pepper. And that's it. What else would you consider comfort food?
You mentioned
I do
ribs.
have, I
Do you
like
like
fried
ribs?
chicken, although it's not good for me.
Okay. I love fried
I
chicken
like
too.
fried chicken,
Mm-hmm.
really good fried chicken,
Yes.
although I know it's
Crispy.
not, you don't eat fried chicken every day.
No. But if you're gonna have it, it has to be crispy. Nice and
Yeah,
fried.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, do you like cooking or you rather eat out?
both.
Okay.
I cook and then I love eating out and I like cooking sometimes. But what can I say? I do both. I mean, I would say equal,
Yeah.
equal. I like being taken out to dine
Yes.
and I like just going out. Sometimes I'll just order something right here in my neighborhood. I'll order like maybe a chicken like a chicken marsala.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken marsala is also one of my favorite dishes. Not
Mm.
fried chicken. I prefer chicken marsala
Okay.
because it's the chicken breast and it's with mushroom gravy, and then I have a side of spaghetti marinara.
Mm.
You know, and then of course sometimes I'll order a Caesar salad. I love Caesar salad. Every now and then, because I don't eat too much beef anymore, I try to stay away. I'll order a steak, a good beef, quality beef steak.
Do you have an idea for a business, but bringing it to fruition seems so overwhelming? Look no further. Emboldened Consulting is a strategy and creative consulting agency that turns bold ideas into thriving ventures. When rebranding my podcast Phase Place, I needed direction and someone who gets it. Who gets me? I tried Emboldened Consulting and was not disappointed. The results I received showed that there was close attention to detail and gave me insight of what I needed to make my business work. You have the vision. Let Emboldened Consulting help you execute the dream. Their services include strategic messaging and branding development, operational strategy, project management, and marketing campaign design. Email Jody Iyamu at emboldenconsulting.com. That's JODIIYAMU at emboldenconsulting.com to set up your consultation today. Use the code FAZEPLACE to receive a free consultation.
What lessons took you years to learn that you finally kind of got down pat?
I remember Maya Angelou once said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And also, if you have a feeling that something's not quite right, and then you go against it, it usually turns out to be not right.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a good feeling, and this is with me, when I have a good feeling about a trip or a gig, it's usually good. It's usually good. If I have I don't know about this gig, it turns out that it's maybe not quite as great as I would like it to be.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good instinct about certain things. Yeah.
And that leads me into my next question, which is what advice would you give aspiring singers?
Never give up and don't turn down a gig because you never know it could be your last gig. Don't be arrogant and say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Uh, I'm not going to work for this money." I'll give you this is the example I want to set. Once I auditioned for a musical here in LA. It was downtown at the Los Angeles Theater Center on Spring Street. And I went to audition for a musical called The Blues in the Night. And I was accepted. So they booked me with Sheldon. He was the director, was Sheldon Epps, and he created the musical and he directed it. And by the time I got home, the director had called me to say, we like you. We'd like to book you to be in the show, and it's going to run for 2 months and rehearsal. And I said, well, what are you paying? And I'm thinking going to say something like maybe, I don't know what, like 2,500 a week or something like that. And they said, "Oh, we're paying, I think it was $425 or $35." And I said, $435? I said, "What's that, a night, a day?"
Right.
They said, "No, a week." Honey, I said, "What?" I said, "I don't work for that kind of money." But then something inside said, "Well, that's what we pay. We can't afford to, we've got not only you, but we've got, like other people in the cast. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we have. That's what we're paying. This is a theater company,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and not a concert theater kind of thing.
Right.
This is not Hollywood Bowl, okay?" So in my intellect, something said, "Frida, go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it." And the only reason I did it is because I had just come off of a tour of doing Duke Ellington's Sophisticated Lady, and my bank account was looking good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it was like, well, I can't. I felt like I'm paying them, but something said, "Go ahead and do it for the experience, to put under your belt." And I did it. Now we did it here in LA, and then there was an offer that came in to do it in Japan. And
Wow.
they asked me, they would like me to do it in Japan. Would I like to go? And I said, "Oh, yeah, sure. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to go." I said, I had already been to Japan once, and I loved it. Roz Ryan, by the way, Roz Ryan, who was another, known artist, he was in the cast, and we did it in Japan. And while in Japan, oh, and wait a minute, Maurice Hines was also in that cast.
Wow.
Jennifer Warren and Carol Woods. She did it once as well, and we did the Blues in the Night, and then these producers, Japanese producers, approached me and Roz Ryan, and they said, "We would like you ladies to do a commercial for us." I said, "A commercial?" They said, "Yes, we have a karaoke company, and we would like to hire you, and we're going to pay you $100,000 a piece."
Come on, somebody.
Honey, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Make a long story short, they sent us deposits of 40 grand a piece, and then we got another 40 grand, and then the balance paid later. Honey, to me, that was another example of doing something for almost nothing,
Right.
but doing it anyway. And then look what happened. Look what
Amazing.
happened. It turned out to be a huge blessing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, what are your current dreams that you're dreaming up?
What am I dreaming of? Well, now at my age,
Yeah, like still
I'm
things
not a
that you
spring
wanted,
chicken anymore.
things
I
that you.
just I want to travel. Okay, in October, I'm going to be going on a cruise,
Ooh.
not a luxury cruise for me. I've been hired to perform. So I'm going on a cruise. I leave October the 30th, and it's a week, and we go to Puerto Rico. They fly me down to Fort Lauderdale, and we leave from Fort Lauderdale to Puerto Rico and back, and then I come back to LA. So I do stuff like that now.
Yeah.
My dream, my future dream is to travel to Egypt. I want to go to Egypt and visit the pyramids.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I'd like to go back to the island of Bali because I went there once in the 80s, and I always swore I would return.
Hmm.
I always said, "I want to come back here on a honeymoon." Now, I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
You never know. I put it out there.
Yes, of course. I know all your dreams will continue to come true. Tell our listeners how they can keep up with you. Are you on social media?
Yes, I am. I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and also I have a website, fredapayne.net.
Awesome. Well, thank you for stopping by Faye's Place. You are welcome back anytime.
Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode and what we're doing here on Faye's Place, be sure to give us a great rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Tune in next Monday for another episode with you in mind. I love you all for listening. This podcast was recorded with the Mackie DLZ Creator.
Hi friends, it's Phaedra, and you are listening to Faye's Place. Join us each week as we talk to industry insiders about their journey and what it takes to turn dreams into a reality. Whether you aspire to be in the entertainment field or just inspired by the hustle, count this as your backstage pass. Join us every Monday for a brand new episode. And also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Faye's Place.